and I had the opportunity to update it. Seems like that we are, we're above the PD value area high. So let's see where we open. But again, tomorrow, the best scenario is if do we have any dates, I guess, calendar wise? So some. And then a bunch of, I guess, one speakers there. So ideal scenario is that we hop below this and then we execute the 80% rule. There's a high chance that they might want to go towards that PW POC, which is sitting here. And then if you guys look, the Fed value area low and January value area high are kind of colliding right now. Right, they're very close, 7 points. So if we are going to break any of these points here, let's say if we break this 40-20 level, which is about what, 30 points away. If we come back here, they would most likely push that, of course, which is 15 points. Break of that sends it here. So it's a 40 points push here. And if you guys look at this on bigger time frames, from the sell-off to the low here, this level here is going to be pretty big. So they're going to come here, and if they're able to regain this level here, there's a high chance they will facilitate auction above this and take it higher and probably go here. And then, of course, after that, you're entering a little bit less volume above. But this level here is going to be pretty crucial for me. So I'll definitely watch this 4,015 and see how we come to it. You have the 4,000 level as well here. Starting, there's a shelf here if you guys look. So there's a shelf there as well. But this, if they're able to get over that, most likely they was at this 415. So I would expect them to do that tomorrow. But it'll be interesting to see how we open, right? Because right now you're above all of those value areas. And then your weeklies, you're inside the value area low for the weekly. So there's a high chance that at least you'll run to the POC, and that's the level that we're watching. It just depends on the news and the Fed that's speaking tomorrow. Anyone else see anything different?
$40.50 is also little important.
What is it?
Looks like a bear flag.
Supply here. Right?
So 40.50 has supply. Yes, that's the one. And the 4-hour cloud is open. Closed at 40.50. Closed.
I have to find it. Turn these on. Have to get used to them being on trading view. So the daily bottom, the inside's right here at 4,000. So we're still inside the daily cloud here. So. And you said the 4 hours what?
Our top is closed at 40.50.
Okay. Maybe mine's not showing it, but yeah.
You want to change your background to black, then it will show us.
Oh. Yeah, that's true.
You can change the fill color on the cloud to something other than white. I changed mine to gray.
Yeah, that's probably
there you
go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but I think this level here is going to be crucial. Look at the shelf that was built here for this imbalance. Like right here, I mean, it's going to be crucial. And we know that 412 level, if you guys recall that 412 before, we kind of decided a lot of action off of that level previous weeks. I think this retest would be crucial. The 4,000, you come here, psychological level, they're able to hop over that, then you can probably go higher. And if I look at here at ES on naked chart, and I just go maybe 65, and I hide all these indicators for a moment. Didn't mean to delete it, but here you go. So if you just look right now, You know, if I would just grab the fibs from here to here, and I change this to black. You know, we're coming up to that level right here, and that 61.8 would be the golden zone of this whole high to the low. And we're looking for a symmetry, right? We're looking from here to here, and where can that replicate now? Down. So if I was to replicate that move down, then I would just grab from here to here, and I would most likely enable this one and the 127. These would be the downside targets. Does this 3924 ring a bell?
Yes.
January value area low?
Yes. And there was a lot of consolidation also at the same level from January 19th, 20th level.
Yeah.
Like
So
a lot of demand zone.
I would say if you break this 39.75, there's a high chance we're going to start executing this bear flag that you have here on all time frames right now. I would say if you're able to put in a lower low here, call it 39.73 and dip below, I think it would trigger a little bit of a sell-off. And then here you have the levels for a golden entry. And then if I look at this, right, so it seems like there was, and I'll check here, this was a pretty nice supply. I'll just extend this left and kind of go back, and then there it goes, right? So they're expecting this level at least here. Came back for a retest, they're holding it. Not as accurate on the way back here in 2022, but recently it acted as support. So I would say right now, if I was to go back, remove this real quick, that this is becoming kind of like a flip at the moment. And you can, you know, make cases for lower or higher, but it seems like it's making its way on the flip side. Like right here, you could even grab this, but that would be 30 points range. So I think this one is good. So if we were able to reclaim this, and I think this is what the cloud would show. If you go over 40.34, probably there's a high chance we go to that 4100, which would be, I believe that was our midline on the weeklies, or if it was a daily top, I don't know, we can check. Well, I know once you break the 4100, right, if they get there, there's high chance that we go to this daily top here. So I think it was, yeah, 4100 was the daily midline. So over 40.34 here, and especially if this cloud remains closed, and this cloud's in the middle of liquidity as well, kind of like right below it. So if we're able to hop over 40.50, I would say a strong chance you run to this area here. And this is going to be a pretty dangerous level, just because you're changing the character of how the monthly closes, right? You have 2 days for the month of February to close. So it's important to see where we are, but I would think that they're going to start pushing the price towards it. And it seems like that's what they're doing tonight, at least here. And considering, right, if there's a lot of speakers tomorrow and there's a lot of volatility, they could use that as an opportunity, right, to push it and make it a trend day either way. But if I was to look at the market structure here for a moment, you're in the lower case, I would say, you know, B shape here. So any high volume nodes in that area, like you have some here, and you also had some here previously on the previous day. Let's see how we react here. If we're able to get over that level where we're stuck now, it seems like on 30 minutes, there's a chance that you can catch 13 points to this level. I would say high chance it's going to run, because it's just not a lot of volume and support. But if they get rejected here and they fall back inside, I would expect this facilitation to go back inside this PD value area and outside of previous week value area low. That means on the weekly, we will be searching for new value. And then, of course, inside the day there, that would mean, you know, you gapped up and then you failed inside. Most likely you're not going to be driving the price outside. You're going to go to the extreme opposite, and probably a good setup for 80%. But let's see how we open. I don't know this time, just a scenario in my head. And that 40.50 you mentioned, CK, is kind of sitting right here on this sell-off. There was a high volume node, and I remember that one just because we never came back to revisit when we talked about it initially.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
Interesting.
40-50.
So that would be kind of simple how to play it, right? And if you're gonna short it, we really have to lose that. I mean, I don't know how many times if you're gonna short it like here below this level, we really need to lose that 39.50. I know we bounced there, and I think weekly mid somewhere in that range now. We can check. I just have
Around
to change the
39.35, I guess.
see.
Check.
Weekly is this one?
39.55.
So that would be right here. 39.52. The weekly mid. So I would say 39.50, and you see, here we bounced off it. All the bodies are above it. But if you're able to kind of break that level below the weekly mid, I think it opens up, a 200 points drop eventually within a short period of time. So definitely would watch that tomorrow. And tomorrow, if we continue higher, then we'll know that immediately, right? Especially here, if you look at this shape, there's really not much stopping it, guys, here. Once you break this, there's a high potential for the retest up here on the upper side. And tomorrow, if any other day, this might be the sideways day tomorrow. I would think that they come inside tomorrow and stay here. You have the lowercase b. They're going to try to find value here. If they open here, you're rejecting value from 39.50. Seems like the upper side, but then I think this is going to be a big level for them to cross. Okay. Any questions on this? Is everybody clear on what to do, or any confusion? I think it's fairly simple day tomorrow. I think we'll know immediately what they're going to do. By all means, it should pull back inside of this value area. So let's see what they do. Because you don't have this type of sell-off and this nice volume and then disappear. But they've done it before. So ideally, if you're going to short, let's say they pop here, reject this, fail inside, and then give us the PWPOC short, or go up here, lose it, and then go down here about 23 points. They're not giving you a lot of ranges unless it's after hours, right? So all of these drops happen before market opens, like this one here. This one started during the day a little bit earlier, right? 9:10. So a lot of them have been before, which doesn't work in your favor, right? If you're not trading futures. What questions you guys got on this? Anyone?
So if we go back into in the range, and we could get an 80% roll down to PD value area low.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There's a high chance, and it's setting up so far to be similar to what we had on, I believe, what was it, Friday to Thursday to Friday, I believe, or I think it was it was here when we gapped up and we failed inside. So Wednesday to Thursday, we executed that 80%, and then, we gapped up above it. If you see here, we opened and we went above the area, not above the range. We broke that, and then we came back inside and executed the rule. Ideally, they do this tomorrow. Ideally, they executed. They push here, and there's probably a rejection waiting here. I would think that if they fail, like you have a nice little supply right here sitting as well. So they can potentially fail that, but they could push to 4,000 as well. They're just moving on no volume here right now. And then on daily, if you guys look, on ASHI candles, we're still, we're not showing a sign of reversal. Then if you guys look at the daily, on regular candles. I guess I'll go here so you guys can see it actually. I mean, you had a really nasty daily candle with some wick here, and that wick was only like 30 points. And now let's see how far we go here, right? Because it could set up a bullish piercing candle if we're able to push somewhere to 4,000 and close here. That would be a really nice bullish piercing candle, because right now it looks like an inside candle.
I have a question about the clouds. On mine it says on the side, on the top it says 15 top and 15 bottom. What does that mean?
That's the size, the aggregation of the cloud. Like you can change that here. I can change these to be 15-minute clouds, 30 minutes clouds. I can change them to be 1 hour. And that's what I suggested this morning that you guys do if you're going to be using them for intraday levels. Like these would be the clouds that you use on that time frame.
Okay, thank you.
So the clouds indicate the duration of how long the cloud takes to calculate. If it's a 16-minute cloud or a 15-minute cloud, 15-minute cloud is going to recalculate and readjust every 15 minutes. So that's what the 15 is. And it uses basically the averages for the 15 minutes typical movement, how far the stock can go in those 15 minutes, and it finds the top and the bottoms.
Shorty, so it would be
Okay.
something. It would be something like the, let's say the orbs or orb high, orb low.
What?
When it comes to 15 minutes bottom, 15 minutes top, it's something like having orb low, orb high.
No,
The
not
same
really.
idea or no?
No. Opening range, like what the orbs are, right? It's the opening range within 30 minutes, which is your orb high is your high of the 30 minutes and the low of the 30 minutes, and then the fibs are in between.
Okay.
The clouds use how much the stock typically moves within 50 and 30 minutes, and based on the data where the price is now, it calculates that range and provides the clouds.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So it gives you the range on a typical move, and it goes a certain period and tells you, hey, this is the typical move of how long it can go. And right now, for instance, it's hitting the 30-minute top. And if you're to fall back here, if you're watching trading tonight, just watch what happens if it falls back to this 5-minute bottom that's closed, 39.80. Most likely it's going to get a bounce here. And this is where it executed, if you guys look, executed a bullish money shot moments ago on 5-minute. Let me see. Let me go on 3-minute here. What was that? 5 minutes. So here's your cloud, basically here. You opened, where was it? 6 o'clock. So you open here and you see them lose this regain, and you see the retest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we lost it here, regain, and this was your entry on the cloud. This right here was your entry on the cloud itself.
Can you trade 3 minutes and 1 minute on the 5 minutes cloud?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as if the cloud's based on 5 minutes, you have to be in 5 minutes or less.
Gotcha.
Yeah, good question. But it should be honestly a fairly simple day based on the levels that we have. I don't expect a lot of complexity on this tomorrow. And I think it's seeing the imbalance tomorrow and the balance on how it's going to set is going to tell us a lot tomorrow. I would expect that we go sideways tomorrow. They will need to be inside that area where the B-shape closed. And I think we're going to have to be in there for a little bit. So, well, let's see. Maybe they have different ideas.
And you think that because?
Just because you had a massive move here and they gapped down. Usually these, exotic moves before market happens. Look what happened. They had it, right? They sent it down, and what did they do the next day? Look here.
Consolidation.
Okay, then they consolidated here again. And they had remember the 0DT shenanigans, and they recovered. And then from that level, this was to be expected here, this dump. These recoveries tend to not hold, because let me show you why. If I was to grab volume profile from here to here, Is there any volume here?
None.
There's no volume, guys. Like this was a fluff. I mean, this whole candle here just looks weak. And then you created volume here, but that volume got broken down. Once you lost this level here, 40-10, it's pretty much go lights. You know, it's gonna go down and regain all of that. And that all of this happened pre-market. So here, you know, this happened during the day, and then the dump happened pre-market. And then they made a lower low as well, which tells you what about the supply?
It's strong.
Strong
This
supply.
one's it's gonna be a very strong level. If they're able to go here, that's kudos to them. But I would expect them this time to make a lower high and fail at 4,000. That would be the ideal. But I think we're gonna fall back inside and consolidate. That's at least my bias for tomorrow.
4015 will also be a lower low, right? Because the earlier 2 days are higher than that. So that
415
megaphone
would be
pattern.
correct. Yeah, it would be correct. It would be, but I would like for it to create, because if you look at this trend line, oh crap. If you look at this trend line here for a moment, right? It would break that trend line if it goes to 415, which is doable. You know, they could trap some people, right? But I think the people will show up in this level, and that's what I was betting on. Somebody's gonna have to win and defend their positions here.
Shorty, I
Shorty,
just want to make sure we're using the right cloud. You said 5, 15, 30 in an hour?
Yeah, I can post it. So intraday levels, let me post it right now in my, I'll post it right now so people are not confused. So for intraday clouds, here. You're gonna use 5 minute, 15 minutes, 30, and 60. Oh crap, went to wrong, press the tab, and 60-minute clouds. 10-minute clouds are not bad, and you can test it, right? See for yourself. Longer period clouds are 4 hours, daily, weekly, monthly, and then sometimes depends where we are. Extreme is, you know, you can do quarterlies on there. Let me just tag you guys there. I'll put it in Shorty's corner so it doesn't get lost. Okay.
Anything over an hour is more of a swing play. You want
I would say, and the only cloud that on, you know, from the big board, the primary clouds are called 4 hours daily and weekly. 4 hours, it really is an intraday cloud, and 4 hours, there's a high chance that we can go top to bottom on it if it's a trending day. And believe it or not, that happens a lot. If we are trending, we're going to be going to that top and bottom of the 4 hours. And, you know, if you go and back test it, I mean, it works like a charm almost. Let me do this. Let me change it to 4 hours. Let me change the fill.
15 minutes.
So here's your 4 hour, and that, you know, that's, we didn't really go below it yet, but here's a potential here. And also the 4 hour mid lines up with what? With the golden pocket and the 4 hour, you know, the 4,000 level. So, and this was your previous supply here. So we're really, really coming into this zone. Look at this level right here. That's there at 4,014. It's going to be a huge level. I mean, this is your value area high at 4,001 and value area high here. So if they're able to facilitate prices above this and be accepted above it,
Jeez, that's huge.
you know, that's a big boy level. There's a high chance you go to 4,100 in my opinion. Yes, we'll be stuck at the February value area low and January value area high at 40, 77, and 70, but eventually I think we will crack through it.
Yes. Word.
Is that a question or?
No, that's just somebody's mic.
These are different than the regular clouds, right?
These are the same, just straight.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the same, just they don't, it's easier for eyes to see these levels than it is to see the squiggly lines. Well, at least for most.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shorty, question earlier when you were talking about the rise up with the volume on the bottom. Is that a short covering rally as well?
Which one, sorry? This one?
Yeah, you right there.
Yeah, so this was actually the 0DT rally that they had. There was a buyer of, I recall, I think it was a $2 million order that had notional about maybe $3 to $4 billion notional value. So that meant the hedge funds had to start buying some stuff here as well. So they really triggered buying via the delta. And then
Okay.
that person actually never closed the position. They went to zero.
Oh wow.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. I guess they got extra millions sitting on the sides.
Must be nuts.
But I mean, they moved the market. You know, if you guys think about this, they moved the market a couple of $1 billion from here to here.
Maybe he had a bigger bet somewhere else.
Well, exactly. So usually when they don't close a position and they let it go to zero, that means that he was somewhere else long, and that might have been his hedge while he was expecting maybe this. I don't know. Right? That's the intention of the flow. You really can't tell what the plan was.
I mean, that would make sense, but who knows?
Yeah.
X loss
You,
harvesting.
I mean, you would have to. I mean, I don't know if there's an algorithm that can match that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
What are you using to see that flow, Shorty?
I don't use any flow. I mean, I have what's called the black box, but I don't really look at it. I have to cancel it. I buy it to look at the gamma level, but their gamma sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't for me, so I cancel it. I follow Spot Gamma on Twitter, and they provide really good updates on unusual gamma and delta. And I have their pro prescription or subscription for that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think gamma is more helpful than flow.
Yeah, I would always rely more on gamma, and especially if you have any delta that you can, you know, if it's net delta short or long, I think that helps more than flow. I think flow is useless, but hey, if you're using it, I'm not gonna tell you don't use it, but to me, it just doesn't make sense that they would make it that easy, right?
I need to read FICOF 2.0.
I honestly think that's a Bible book for a lot of people that, you know, if you don't know what it is, I strongly suggest that you read it, and I'll post a picture of something in Discord. I think it's a book that all of you should read. Since you guys are still on your challenge for reading, I trust you guys. Right by my keyboard here.
Sorry, what book was that?
Posted in the Discord. I really think it will help many of you understand some of the concepts even I teach here. So. Okay, and if you don't have clouds, just reach out Sequence, and he can help you with getting them. I'm sure he tried to get everyone.
Yeah, I didn't have it, and I reached out, and he put them on like in 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem, Sonny. Yeah, everyone but Dumpster. Dumpster uses weird numbers on his charts. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, that'd be it for me. I just have to get some time in with wife, and my kids are finally asleep. So.
No, thank you, man.
Okay, have a good
Yep.
night.
I'm gonna ask
All right,
for
guys.
Spy, but you know
Thanks,
what?
Shorty.
Spy's got the same, pretty much the same
Setup, man.
idea,
Same
same setup. Yeah, and I got it. You know, I've
And
fed
I'll
the-
post it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be live, so we'll be able to figure it out. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we'll make some money tomorrow.
Thanks, Shorty.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys.
Shorty.
Have a good one. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, you too.